What did I tell you not to do?
Not to have the auto update on.
And what did you do?
Had the auto update on.
You did.
Non-apologetic nonsense.
So it has been 1 year since you gave me that PS4 for me to jailbreak.
Oh, yeah.
So I got to looking into it. I haven't looked into it in a while. I'm like, they have to have a jailbreak for the, you were on the firmware 9.03, right? Nothing. So I started thinking, how can that be? Because this whole time for PlayStation, every time somebody comes out with a jailbreak, comes out with a way to hack the unit, Sony will patch it and then they'll come out with another way. And it's this complete cat and mouse, yin and yang thing. However, PlayStation opened up their hacker bounty program. And I thought it was going to be bullshit. They were offering like $60 and $600 to find like vulnerabilities within the system, and they'll pay you that.
Kind of a big gap in the price range there.
Yeah, and it's about to get an even bigger gap, like wide mouth vagina gap, because apparently at some point they changed, and if you find a heavy security vulnerability, the price starts at $50,000.
Jeez.
So these little dirtbags who are just hacking PlayStation, right? Where are they going now? They're going to Sony with their findings.
Right.
I got lucky because I was on firmware 9.0 when I hacked my PS4. Now, remember, what did I tell you not to do?
Not to have the auto update on.
And what did you do?
Had the auto update on.
You did. So I was able to hack mine, and what was cool is I caught it at the end of the generation where I was still, new games were still coming out on PS4. So I was downloading them, and I now have a collection on an external drive for the hacked PS4.
Hypothetically,
we are breaking the law. Now, no hypotheticals there. So I started looking into it, and apparently this fuckbag by the name of C. Turt, that's his hacker name.
Stupid fucking name.
So he was writing about that he had come up with a vulnerability that somehow runs through, it manipulates the PS2 emulator on the PS4, and he can get in that way, but for some reason he hasn't made that public. I don't even think he's gone to Sony with it, right? But someone came up with a hack for the firmware 9.03, Flow 0, okay? And he got $20,000 from PlayStation when he reported it. This has almost stopped it for the PS4. Now, the PS5 has been blown wide open for 6 months. Like, you can jailbreak a PS5 right now. And that's what's really exciting. Now, from what I hear, for some firmwares are easier. The firmwares mean how many times you've updated what current software you have on there, for lack of a better term. My understanding is anything under 5.0 can just be busted wide open like a insert joke here. Now, hit that one in post. Now, what's interesting about the PS5 though is having a jailbroken console this early in the life cycle means you might not get them on day one, but I Googled like Lords of the Fallen ROM the other day when I was thinking about this episode, and they have them out there. So if you have a jailbroken PS5, you could, maybe not on launch day, but you could already gotten Lords of the Fallen that came out, 5 weeks ago, 6 weeks ago?
Like that.
Liza P has a ROM out already. So jailbreaking the PS5 would be amazing right now, but you'd kind of have to have 2 PS5s because you can no longer update and you can no longer go online. Here's something I never understood. Okay, so PlayStation will come up and say an update is available. What if I don't update? Do I get blocked out of playing any games?
I think you get.
Because I thought you did, but apparently you don't.
I think online you do. I think that's the main thing it blocks out.
You mean
But you can go on and play offline still and everything.
Okay, because see, during the PS4, I was thinking I had put in a game at some point, this was disc game based, and it said if you do not update this game, you cannot play it till it's updated. So that made me think that at a certain point, you'd get locked out of your current games if you weren't hacking it, and then, if you didn't update.
You won't be able to use the online features.
Yeah, that's fine with me. I don't play online games.
Yeah.
By the way, I tried GTA 5 online. Holy hell, is that a cesspool?
Is it?
So it takes you 20 minutes to get started on this thing, right? And then it automatically puts you into a session with 15, 20 other players. So 100%, right when I get logged in, I don't have a headset on. I can hear them talking, through the speaker on the remote. Okay? First off, I hear a guy saying that if he could do anything in life, it would be to be as great as Hitler, so he could kill another guy's ancestors who was also on the chat. And that was a black fellow. So you could imagine as they went back and forth over which race was supreme, you could imagine the terms that were getting thrown out there, right?
Oh, yeah.
And this was my first experience in GTA Online. Like, think if you had a kid and you were doing this and you were a parent, like, you would think they'd have some sort of safeguard that maybe that's not, you don't get thrown into a public chat of douchebags the first time. And yeah, I got tired of that game for non-related reasons. I could listen to them go back and forth all day, but yeah, that was insane. I don't know. I think GTA Online for me might have just been a waste of money. It's for real just pay to play.
Is it?
And they say it's not. They say, like, you can get all these mission groups, like DLCs for free. There's one called Drug Wars, which I could start. Everything else was like the Dr. Dre missions or whatever. It was like, well, you want to be a celebrity fixer, like fix their problems? And I'm like, well, that could be interesting. First, you must buy a building that costs $2.5 million.
Oh, yeah.
And then you go to do something else, and it's like, well, you actually need a nightclub, which is $3.5 million. And I'm looking at, and I got like 45,000.
Yeah, I started up and played it for a bit, but yeah, the same thing. Every time I try to go do something, like you got to buy this or that, and yeah, but I do know you can go into the settings and set like make it a private world.
That's what I did.
Did you?
Because I got tired of every time I'd start a mission, somebody would drive by with a tank with like guns on top of it and be like, ha ha, faggot. And like just, you know what I mean? Yeah. Anywho, so that was something like you couldn't do on like the jailbroken PS4. Like I have the GTA 5 game and I can play the story all night and day, of course. But, you know, you'd be effectively locked out of all online features. So I did start looking up the price of a PS4 and or PS5 on eBay that you could just jailbreak that has the lower firmware. Man, people know what they have. You might pay $300, $400, $500 for one.
Damn.
Well, unless you can get one where someone doesn't know what they have. But what people do is they're like, firmware 3.0 hackable, you know, or already jailbroken, you know, $450 for a PS4. So hopefully they finally come out with the 9.03, which is what you're on. And then you can hop aboard the hackable train because it's fun. You know, I got the PS Vita, I got the PS4, I got the PSP. I keep thinking I'm going to hack the GameCube, but then I keep asking myself if I'm retarded or not. Like, what's...
I got that on my laptop. It runs pretty good, no problems I've never had.
Oh, you mean an emulator for the GameCube games?
Yeah, it's called Dolphin.
No, I have like an actual GameCube.
Oh, dude.
Like I was going to hack the GameCube.
Oh,
it's
the
like
machine itself.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
it's like a $20 little piece you need to solder onto the board. But then I thought, well, what the hell's the point of that? You know, the controllers suck. The games you can get, you know, I can play 64 games on my PS Vita.
Right.
You know what I mean? Yeah, my remote just broke on my Switch. The R2, right? I was playing through a Metroidvania recently. And yeah, you need R2 to like, I don't know, hit or something. And
it's a very crucial button.
It goes down and then it just goes flat. And now it's like, okay, well, this thing's useless. Because I'm not playing with Joy-Cons because, you know, I don't have 4-year-old baby hands. So I don't know about you. I don't even mess with the Joy-Cons. Every pair of Joy-Cons I've ever had are still brand new in the package in the other room.
I use them if, like, I'm playing with other people, like an old Mario game. But and I have one of them 8-bit duos.
Yeah, you know,
It's looks like a Super Nintendo controller.
I have the same thing. Can you remap the buttons when you're playing on Switch?
I'm not sure. I haven't looked into that or tried anything.
Because, see, I was going to try to play old Super Mario 3 with my mom, but the buttons were in the wrong places, like by default from Switch, and I couldn't remap them to where like she could like hold down on run and then hit jump. She was having to like release one and go diagonal to an, I don't know, apparently there's probably a way to remap them, but I never could figure it out.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
I think it had something to do with the Switch Online, though, since you were doing, like, the NES streaming. You have less options than, you know, maybe we should just hack the Switch as well. But if we even talk about that, Nintendo will cease and desist our bitch ass, but we could add that to the collection, I suppose. But yeah, for now, if you're into hacking your PS4, your best bet is to go onto eBay, get yourself one, pay like $300, bite the bullet, and then have every game that's ever came out from PS4 and before. You know, you won't be paying $50 for a Metal Gear re-release that's the exact same thing. You know, you just go to ROMs R Us and download it.
Right.
But yeah, so that's a day in the life of PlayStation troubles.
Happy Halloween. Do try.
Apparently I have a Halloween page. Goodbye.
Non-apologetic nonsense.